What's up, guys? The Nautical here. Just decided I'd come at you with my regional topping deck profile. If you hadn't seen on Facebook or anything else like that, I think I posted in my Discord too, but I got my first Nationals invite. It was really exciting. I feel like I played exceptionally well. Shout out to all the boys from Abilene, all the boys from Odessa and Midland and Lubbock who just play tested with me, helped me get cards, just helped me become a better player overall. I couldn't really have done it without them. So shout out to all the boys, especially Nick and Bert specifically. My homies always going up there with me, but yeah, super fun. And I thought I would just come and bring you my topping deck profile. I think I got, they took top 24 and I got 21st. I went 5, 2 and 1. I played really, really well. My losses were only to people, I believe, in the top 5 or so. And yeah, so obviously I'm playing LiveTwin. I am playing a bit of a smaller LiveTwin package, but the deck that I ended up going up there with was Spright LiveTwin Runick. I just really enjoyed the deck. Had been testing it out a lot. Really loved how it played. Really fit my play style really well. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and show you the deck profile, and then we'll kind of just talk about the cards as they come up. So first of all, we got our LiveTwin package, and I'm gonna go by package, not necessarily by monsters, spells, traps, stuff like that. But we have our LiveTwin package here. So we got our 2 Lilla, our 2 Kiss to Kill, and our 1 Frost. Kind of a smaller LiveTwin package, monster side, and then we got the 2 Sunny Snitches. If you look at other deck profiles, you'll see that they play kind of like this. They kind of play the 4 cards. I'm still a LiveTwin player at heart, so I just could not find it in myself to cut down to that low. I was trying out with just this package, just the 2-3, but I just started noticing that I felt like my end boards were significantly weaker if I didn't have access to a LiveTwin package. So I went ahead and put in my 41st and 42nd card as my Sunny Snitch, just to one, give me some insurance that I would be able to see my LiveTwin package, and also this came up in time quite a few times, or just made it to where they couldn't kill me, and then I was able to just basically show them that I had more resources than they did, in which case they had to scoop. But that's the LiveTwin package. Honestly, I probably wouldn't cut it to any less than this if I absolutely had to. I thought about playing Prosperities here, but upon more thought, it just, 1, I didn't have them, and 2, there was no point in really trying to get them before the tournament, because I just want to hold the advantage. That's kind of the whole gimmick behind this particular deck that I was playing. Obviously, we're playing the Swap Frog. We cut it down to 2. 3 is nice, but not necessarily needed. You can still pull off the Toad play perfectly fine, especially in this deck, because you just are chunking level 2s on the board. I really hated when I had to draw this card, but even then, it still wasn't a break. The only time it bricked is whenever I drew a twin, this, and also you'll see my other normal summon. Then it felt really bad, but that didn't come up too many times, and this is probably the next engine to go, to be honest. I really do like Toad, and I think it's a really cool card, and just honestly really strong, but I don't know. I didn't go into it enough throughout the, I think, 7 or 8 rounds of the tournament, and I just noticed that after a while I just got tired of this, and I just cited these out for better cards in the matchups. So that's that for the Swap Frog package. And then the best normal summon, not the best normal summon, but the thing to summon off of Gigantic, if you have access to all your other engines, is the Cap Shell. This card performed exceptionally well, and every single time I summoned this off of Gigantic, literally everyone had the same reaction of like, oh my god, that's insane, or I haven't seen this card in forever, or that's based. It just really helped. And basically, if you don't know what Cap Shell is if it's used for fusion, synchro, or link material, you draw a card. If it's tributed to activate an effect, or if it's just tributed period, actually, you draw a card. And then if it's detached as an Xyz material, it also draws a card. So you can do some funny plays where you summon this off of Gigantic, use Gigantic in this to link off into Elf, and then you draw a card. You can summon it back on your opponent's turn, and you can use red to tribute to negate a monster, or carrot to tribute to negate a spell trap, and you'll trigger this to draw another card on their turn. So if you can't tell just by kind of like the engines you've already seen, my whole thought process was I just want to be drawing as many cards as possible and just winning the resource game. Just because Spright and LiveTwin is so recurable, I figured that if they couldn't completely destroy my board or leave me on 0 cards at the end of their turn, I was just going to enter into my turn with like 8 cards in my hand. And at that point, the game's just free because I just have too many cards for them to deal with. So Cap Shell really, really, really overperformed, and it will definitely have a spot in my deck in the future. Next, we have the Spright core. We have the 2 blue. I only had 2 blue. I actually pulled a 3rd in my in my registration packs, but I decided I'd already written out my deck list, so I didn't care. But I'll probably bump this up to 3 in the near future. We got the 3 jet. We got the 1 red, the 1 carrot, and then the MVP of the tournament, Pixies. The amount of people who have never seen this card or didn't know what this card did, or, you know, I just opened it in my hand, but I still had other Spright and LiveTwin cards to play. This just making it to where, again, if they can't break my board with this, it definitely makes it a lot more difficult because they have to pop everything. They can't just assume they're going to go to battle phase and kill everything. This just allows you to like kind of stick your elf on the board, and then you just do all your plays again next turn, and you just have that resource advantage. So definitely MVP. Love this card. Literally never coming out of the deck. And then you have your 3 worst card in time starter, but it's fine. You can see our boy up here. I really hate that, but this card burns us but summons anything, so it helps us facilitate our plays. We got to play it, and I mean, it is still a really good card. The life point just sucks. And then Smashers, honestly, really good card. I didn't really search it that much off of Jet, to be honest. I feel like I searched starter for either follow-up, or I searched starter to summon like the opposite one of these, depending on which one I could get to on my turn, and just summon it out just to make sure that they can't deal with it. But yeah, that was the Spright package. Again, we'll probably bump blue up to up to 3, but it performed exceptionally well. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Next, probably the most broken engine, if I'm being absolutely honest, out of all 3 of the engines that I shoved into this deck. We're playing the Runick package. So you got your Fountain, which basically the most broken card in the entire archetype. On resolution of activating a Runick card, you just target 3 and shuffle, target 2 and shuffle, target 1, or sorry, put on the bottom of the deck, and then you draw as many as you put back. So honestly, going +3 is kind of nice. Pot of Greed +1, really good. Also, it allows you to activate the quick plays from hand, even on your opponent's turn. So your opponent really has to worry about this card, because you're either going to accrue a bunch of resources, or they have to worry about Moore's Wind in your hand as well, not just set on your field. So next we have the Runick quick plays. We have the 3-tip, target 1 or search any Runick card, and then banish 1 off your opponent, and then they all have the secondary effect to special summon a Runick extra deck monster to the extra monster zone. So this one's your generic searcher. It's really nice whenever you either draw into this on your opponent's turn with Fountain Up, or you have this in your when they start their turn, because you can just tip for whatever card you exactly need in the matchup, and then you're also banishing a card, and then if it's kind of like the last thing you're doing in your turn or in your Runick setup, then you just you can shuffle 3 back or shuffle 2 back and then draw 2 cards, which is insane. Next, Freezing Curses. This is basically your imperm, and then I believe this is the banish 3 off the top. You got your Flashing Fire, which is your target destruction of a special summon monster. You got to remember that. No normal summon destructions. And then banish 2. And then we played 2 Destruction, which is the Spell and Trap, and it banishes 4. I wasn't originally on Destruction, and I had a thought of taking it out before the tournament started, or before I wrote my deck list out, but honestly, this card came clutch so many times. Just hitting Spell and Traps in the back row going second, that just allowed me to like not play through stuff. So like if it was an Imperm set, or they searched like an archetype negate trap card, or like I think I played a Mathemic player and I just hit their Super Factorial in standby phase, so they were forced to have to just use it early. And then if nothing else, if I'm not playing into a back row matchup, then this is still summoning my Runick monsters from the extra deck. So even if it is a dead card in the matchup, it's still not, because it's still getting me to my level 2. But yeah, this engine performed exceptionally well. I probably won't take it out anytime soon, unless Konami hits it in some shape or form. But it just allows me to turn 1 accrue so many resources, and then every turn after that just keep them up. So yeah, that was the Runick stuff. And then lastly, my hand traps. I'm on 3DD Crow, just for tier matchup, Mathmech, literally just really good hand trap this format. 3 Effect Veiler, kind of similar, just really good hand traps. And then the 2 Nibs. I am playing a lot smaller of a hand trap package than I'm normally used to, but honestly, with drawing, you know, upwards of 5 cards, which is very feasible on your first turn, because you can draw off a Kiss-a-Kill, you can draw off of Cap Shell, and then you can draw off of your Runick Fountain at least 3 times. So that's 5 cards in 1 turn, plus doing it on your opponent's turn. If you have Kiss-a-Kill draw, you have Frost draw, and then another 3 Runick cards, so that's another 5 cards. So just, you know, you're not really worried that you don't see these in your opening hand. It's really nice if you do, but you're going to see them eventually. But the main reason why I stuck with these 8 in particular was I just wanted to have recurable, or not recurable, I wanted to have duplicate hand traps, and I wanted to have high impact hand traps. So Crow, obviously Crow's not once per turn, so that was a big reasoning as to that. And it also helps, like, if I draw into multiple Crow in throughout my Runick plays, then that's fine. I can still use them, they're not dead cards. Same thing with Veiler, it's not once per turn, so if I draw into multiple Veilers off of my Runicks on my opponent's turns, they're not dead cards. And then Nib, if I draw into that as kind of like a last resort, I can do some kind of funky plays with my LiveTwins and my Elf, and just kind of allow that to kind of happen. So that's really cool. And that's pretty much it. As you can notice, no trap cards in the main board. I was on 3 Imperm as I feel like at the beginning of the format I really liked it. But I just started realizing, especially with the way that I wanted to play the deck, I didn't want to draw into an Imperm on my opponent's turn off of my Runick Fountain, just because it would be dead. It would be dead for a full 2 turns. The turn I drew it, and then my turn I would just set it and I would just pass. Or set it and I would have to pass with it, so it was effectively dead for 2 turns. So I just wanted to draw cards that I could use pretty much immediately, or I would want to draw stuff like extra Spright cards and stuff like that for redundancy to be able to play through a broken board. So that was kind of my theory, and my theory with kind of the deck in general was I just wanted to hold the resource game. I was just going to outgrind you, and just LiveTwins and Sprites are just super recurable. And that was kind of the objective, was to just end my opponent's turn with like 7 cards in hand and then go, cool, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to set up my entire board again. And so yeah. And again, it performed exceptionally well. I really enjoyed the deck. Every single match I felt super confident. I never felt like I was worried or that I had to worry about anything in particular. I ended up playing a bunch of tier. I played some Exo Sisters, I played Mathmech, I played True Draco, and a bunch of tier variants, and I think that was really it. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I played again. And I played Drytron in the last round. So I definitely got a wide spread of different things, and I feel like almost in every matchup the deck exceeded in what I wanted it to do, and it did even more than what I expected it to do. So for the extra deck, oh, it's backwards. So for the extra deck, we got the one Huggins. This is your Runick that you're going to summon. On summon, you can pitch a card to search Fountain. That's really what it's used for. Also, for some reason, Konami made it a level 2. So that's really nice. So that's what that's for. Next, we got the Gin Buster. This is just a monster negate and then burn for 5. It's really funny whenever you use Elf to summon back Cap Shell on your turn and make this you make it like a Cap Shell in blue, overlay into this, and then that way you're also drawing, and that's just super nice. We got the 2 Gigantic, sorry there. We got the 2 Gigantic, obviously just the bread and butter of the deck. Tutor out any level 2 you need, so summon your Cap Shell, summon your Swap Frog, summon the opposite twin if you opened up Frost, because I did that so many times. But yeah, just gets you whatever you need out of the deck. Super nice. I mean, it's gigantic. You know what it does. And then obviously the Toad, the Omni Negate. Again, this is probably going to come out in the near future, but I mean, it's Toad. You just kind of know what it does already, so it's just nice. Next, Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. This is only for deck Devi in the side deck, but it can come up occasionally if it's kind of like a last resort play, and I know they can't game me, then I'll just put this on board and just Prage, because if they destroy it by battle or card effect, it will just summon back at the end phase, so I'm guaranteed to have a body on board, in which case I might be able to just do, I might be able to continue playing. Next, we're playing 2 Elf. It's the most broken card in the deck. Just special summon back any level 2 or Rank or Link if they control a monster, and stuff can't be targeted. This card is busted. Yeah, I don't know what Konami was doing, but I'm glad they did it. Next, IP. It didn't really come up that much in the tournament, but I originally had Dark in here, and I'd been testing with IP and I'd been testing with Dark, and I just realized that IP came up more than Dark for my particular build. Obviously that's different if you're not playing the Runick engine or something like that, because you can use like your Dark to summon out to go into like Nightmare Unicorn or go into Access Code, but I just really liked IP as an option, just because of some of the other stuff I'm playing in my extra deck that you'll see in a minute. But this was kind of a flex spot, and I just made the call for the tournament that I was going with IP. Next, we have our LiveTwin package. We have our 2 pinks and our 1 blue. Obviously, you know what they do. Pink draws, blue pops. They summon each other back. You know what the deal is. I played a small package just because the extra deck space is really, really, really tight. And, you know, basically your main goal is summon pink, summon blue, link both of those off, summon your pink again because you're locked out of your level or out of your rank 4. And then you just use this to summon back on your opponent's turn to get a pop, and then you just kind of contribute off the pink. So you can go skill effect, summon blue, blue effect pop. If you have like a red on board and they activate a monster effect, you just negate it, send your pink, you negate and destroy it, and then you just blue, summon it back, you draw another card. So it just allows you to just have that recursiveness like I was talking about, and just continue to have like that hand advantage. So I really, really liked it. And also, you know, I gotta play LiveTwin. You know, it's got to happen. Next, the Unicorn. Because you're skipping your battle phase with all of your Runick stuff, it's really nice to just be able to... You want to be able to keep them off of resources while you're gaining resources. So just target shuffling a card is really big, especially like in the tier matchup, shuffling back their Kaleido Heart or their Rhino Heart or any of their tier element monsters, just so that way they don't trigger their effects and they continue to fusion summon. But doing this, and also because it's very easy to co-link with the LiveTwin engine, you're also drawing a card. So you're pitching a card, you're drawing a card, you're keeping your resources up and going, and yeah, it's just a really, really strong card. Next, Unchained Abomination. So kind of similar thought process. You want to be up on resources as much as possible, and so by going into Unchained Abomination, you're popping at least 2 times a turn. You're probably able to pop 3 times a turn as well. So you're just keeping them again off of those resources, and eventually it just becomes to the point where your resource game is just so oppressive and your opponent can't do anything. And then last but certainly not least, my homegirls, Trouble Sunny. Again, this is just a strong card. Non-targeting send, tags out into both. It's just really oppressive, and it's just a really strong card, and it still has a place in the deck. So it's just really nice. I really, really, really enjoy LiveTwin engine, and you know, it's exemplified there. Last and certainly not least, we have the side. Red Resonator, literally strictly for time. I really hate that I have to play this, but unfortunately, when you're skipping your battle phase and other people are playing Runick engines or other people are comboing for 15 minutes, you have to just have a time contingency, and it sucks. But came up, I only actually ended up winning 1 match because I Red Resonated in game 3. But, you know, it sucks that it has to come up, but it does. Next, 3 Dark Ruler No More, just really strong, just blanket negate, really helps in the mirror match, and yeah, I mean, it's just a good spell card, straight up. Next, my meta call again, Mistaken Arrest. This was super nice. I did this against a Mathematic player, and they literally just couldn't play for 2 turns. This was more of a meta call against like specifically like Flu, but I never ended up seeing any Flu players, so that kind of sucks. Or I mean, it's a good thing I didn't see Flu, but it kind of sucks that I had the out for them. I cited this in Game 3 against Drytron, but unfortunately we went into time before we could start Game 3. So this kind of activates as a pseudo droll. Actually, it's even better because they can't do anything on my turn or their turn. But yeah, Mistaken Arrest is just really nice. I really like the card, and once I do my searching once, my first turn off of Blue and Jet, I don't ever have to search again unless I get Tip in hand, and if I get Tip in hand, then okay, that's fine. That kind of sucks, but it's whatever. I'm still drawing, because you can still draw, you just can't search. So while I'm drawing, you know, up to 5 cards on my turn, my opponent is drawing 1 on their turn, and they can't really do anything about that. Cosmic Cyclone at 1. This used to be Harpies, but with kind of with like Tear Element traps where they get effects when they ban it or when they go to the graveyard, and also with things like Anti-Spell, I just wanted as much chainable spell trap destruction as I could possibly get. So that's why this was here instead of Harpies, just because if in draw phase I draw this and they go in draw phase Anti-Spell, this isn't a dead card, whereas Harpies would be a dead card. So this plus Smashers gave me multiple ways to out things like Mystic Mine or Tear Element spell traps or just like Super Factorial or anything like that. So it just, you know, I just wanted chainable spell trap destruction. Next, 2 Deck Devi. This comes up specifically for the mirror match, but it also comes up in like Math Mech and Exo Sister. That was the main things where I cited it. You don't really want to side this against Tier, because if you destroy or if they send you stuff to the grave, then cool, congratulations, you just gave them fusion material. But also just the hand knowledge is super nice, and just knowing what they're drawing every turn for 3 turns is just broken. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. Next, 3 Dimensional Barrier. This was mainly for Tier going first, just because you can call fusion and they basically just pass and then you kill them. Or you at least stop them from playing for their turn. I actually had a match against the guy who ended up getting first place, and I lost that game 3 because I sequenced my D barrier incorrectly. I could have made it to where he played into the nib because he was playing Lunalight Tier, so I could have just let him going, and then nibbed him and then chained D barrier, but I chained D barrier first, and that scared him enough into not playing into the nib. And then I just couldn't establish a resource game after that. So that was kind of unfortunate, but honestly just a super strong card, and against like Exo Sister and stuff like that, obviously you're just shutting them out for a turn. So that's really nice. And then lastly, the best going second card in the entire game, Evenly Matched. Just setting up, just allowing your opponent to set up the board and the Dark Ruler evenly them. And then you just do your LiveTwin plays and you're popping cards and you're drawing cards and stuff like that, and it just allows you to set up that resource game absolutely for free. And they really, after that point, if this card resolves, you just win the game. So yeah, that was my regional topping deck profile. Again, the deck performed absolutely insane. I never felt like I was under any threat in any of the games. I felt like a lot of the games I lost were just to my opponent literally having everything, or me not really having too much, or like in the Exo Sister match, I got Spear Moded, I got D-Shifted, and I got Necro Valleyed, and so, you know, at that point there's literally nothing that my deck can do. So that was kind of tragic, but other than that, you know, I really enjoyed the deck. It was super fun. The cap shell tech was really insane, and just drawing, you know, 5 cards on your opponent's turn max is, you know, is broken. There's a reason why, you know, cards like Pot of Greed and stuff like that are banned, because you start to win the resource game, and then at that point your opponent just gets basically crushed by your wallet. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck profile. Again, shout out to all the Abilene guys for showing up every week at the gathering place and helping me test, helping me theory craft, and just helping me pick up cards. Shout out to the Odessa guys and Midland guys and Lubbock guys, similar, just for helping me test, talking theory with me, helping me like get the cards that I need. And yeah, check out the channel for more deck profiles and kind of some live duels. Hopefully we'll get some more of the regional guys that went with us. Hopefully we'll get their deck profiles on here pretty soon. But yeah, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it.